unboxing for Alpha Strikes We Play. Today we're going to be having a look at the two-player starter set for A Song of Ice and Fire by Cool Mini or Not. This one features House Stark and House Lannister, and there are about 80 odd figures, I think, from memory. No, a few more than that. So combat and non-combat units. This is the same version that comes with the Kickstarter. So whatever you buy after the Kickstarter or whatever, this is what you're going to get. So let's take a look, shall we? So I really like that new box smell. I think everybody does, I reckon. Alright, so first thing you see on top is the rule book. It's not a thick rule book. The rules are actually quite straightforward. It is a D6 based system, but it's quite good. Rule book is about 30 pages or something like that. So there's a lot of diagrams in here. I can show you some pictures of it. So lots of cool stuff. Very straightforward. Just put that to one side. So the next thing we have here is terrain. It's card. Terrain pieces, so there's walls and barricades, looks like coins as well. There must be for scenarios and things like that. So unit condition markers, so it's all in there, all that one little pack there. As you can see here, it's got all the miniatures here, and they've all got their own spot. The miniatures are one-piece cast, so you don't have to do any assembly. There are multiple poses for each of the units as well, which is quite handy. They also come with some cards. These are your standard card size, so your Magic the Gathering sort of thing. So getting hold of some sleeves is quite simple for those. I think it's about 60 cards in that set. It's got each of your units, they have abilities, and if you attach characters and certain like troop commanders and things like that, there's a deck that you use and they go into that. Like I said, it's a D6 system, so they give you some D6s. If you have your lucky D6s, obviously you can use those. I don't know exactly what these are. I haven't had a close look at everything yet, but it just actually says Castle Walls, but it's just another set of cards. They're slightly different size, but it must be for the scenarios and things like that. So. Okay, and they also give you some small cards as well. These are objective cards, so they're the same size as the little damage cards from the X-Wing miniatures game. So they're quite common to get sleeves for those as well, which is nice. So the game isn't skirmish based; it is blocks of troops. So they've actually made. Oh, it's stuck to there. Oops. So your standard foot troops come on something like this, which is 12 models, and it is actually marked with a little arrow for the front to represent the front, and it's got view indicators as well, so you can only charge what you can see, which is in the front arc, things like that. So your troops are 12. Cavalry, same sort of thing, but they're bigger models, obviously, because they're like horses and things like that, so you get 4 on a stand, so not quite the same dimensions, I don't think. Yeah, they are, look at that. No, not quite, but close enough. So, looks like you get about 8 of those troop bases. There's only one, because the Starks have cavalry, they're the only ones out of the main box here. And then they have this one here, which is actually for the wolf, for the Starks, but a lot of characters in the game, like if they're, like the Mountain, he can be on horseback or whatever, so he's quite a big model, so he'll get his own little stand. But yeah, so a whole bunch of stands there, that's quite good. And what have we got here? Oh, okay, here we go. Here's the... So there's the Outriders. So we'll take some pictures of those, you can have a look at those, but 4 Outriders to the stand, like I said, and there's some dudes with the banners, the leaders or whatever for the foot troops for Starks. So they've actually colour-coded the models in this, so all your Stark models, they come in like that blue-grey colour. There's the rest of them there. So they all have their own little compartment, which is what I really like. It's the same with Zombicide and all the other Cool Mini or Not games that you get. The models, they have their own little spot, so you can store them away. Even if you painted them, they would actually sit in there. If you sealed them up, they wouldn't get damaged or scratch off or whatever. So it's really, really good. So that's the Stark ones. And there's two more trays of the Lannister stuff, but they've got a picture on there that shows you what goes where, and so they all sit nice and neat. Just put that to one side. Slide this out here. So yeah, so all the Lannister stuff, because they're all in the red. So there's actually two lots of trays there. Hard to see when I'm just holding them. But there you go. So every troop has his little spot in the tray there. So that's quite cool. So we'll show you some pictures of all the stuff that you get. So we'll just film along, whatever. But that's quite a lot of gear for a starter box set. Now they are bringing out individual units, and you can buy those separately, and you can add to your force. Average game time is about 45 minutes to 60 minutes. Obviously, the more points that you want to build your army with, the longer the game's going to go. But it's quite good because it has your combat troops on the field with scenarios and all that. But they also have characters that are non-combatant. So, like, say, Catelyn Stark, for example, I'm sure she can use a sword. She's from the north and things like that. But generally, she plays on a separate section, which is like a political stage, and you move her along there, and it gives different abilities. She has cards that goes into the stack as well, because she's a character. But because she's not involved directly in the fight, she does things in the background to help the troops on the field. And the Lannisters have that as well, so Cersei Lannister, she does the same sort of thing. Each character has their own cards that's unique to them, and it's their sort of play style, and it's sort of themed with that army. But yeah, it's actually really, really good. You get heaps of stuff in it. So I was really excited to get a hold of this and just sort of have a closer look at what you get. But it's really good. So anyone who's a fan of watching the Game of Thrones or has read the books and things like that would actually probably really enjoy it. If you've never really played a tabletop game, the way the rules are, very, very simple to learn, but the strategy's there that it sort of keeps you guessing, and you have to sort of learn different strategies and play your own style, but it would actually be quite good for someone to get into. So I'd recommend it. Yeah, if you're a fan, if you're looking for something else to play, this is actually recommended by me. I like it. So yeah, so that's it. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye. I have the Hand of the King pin. King pin?